starting, but
Awesome.
this feels like the right size. Welcome.
Right? Good evening, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you if you want to, Jeff, that's okay. We're welcome everyone to our August Nor Cal meeting. I'm sure everyone's as exhausted as Stephanie and I are. I think everyone's back in session, whether remotely. Is everyone remotely? I'm remote. I'm in my classroom office. I have a classroom office. Be jealous. Every teacher should have one. Good evening, Ellen. So we thank you guys for being here because we know this is exhausting. It's like no other teaching year ever in the history of teaching years. We will always come back to 2020, I'm sure, as remember that time when. So thank you for being here. The bit.ly is in the chat. We will post it every now and again. I know someone just walked in, so Ellen came in. I'll post it again. So thank you for being here. This is GEG Nor Cal. So thank you for joining us wherever you are from. And Ellen, if you want to say where you're from, where you're logging in from, and what you do, that'd be awesome. So we use that.
Just unmuted, Danessa. Go ahead, Ellen.
I'm Ellen Karnowski from Kelseyville High School. It's very, very confusing what's going on here. So, thanks.
And I think we definitely feel that. I think we definitely feel that.
How come I can't see myself? Oh, I see myself. I'm in the upper right-hand corner, but how do I go back to my volume control again?
If you hover over your picture in the top right-hand corner, there should be like 4 little squares. If you click on that, it should add you to the meet, or to a bigger view of you. But in the normal tiled view, the auto setting is not to have you in there. But yeah, and then hi Ray, we're seeing you on there. We missed getting to say hi to you, so go right ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Ray Fearing up in Northern Cal. Well, we're all in Northern California. I'm in actual Northern California. I am about 20 miles from the Oregon border, so we're like extreme far, far, far north.
You're the true NorCal.
Yeah. Awesome. So we hope that we strive to be the people that challenge and inspire you, spend time with each other, and hopefully change your teaching world, your students' world. So we thank you. The Bitmoji, please add your Bitmoji to us. I think that's linked here. You can just click on the banner there if you would like to do so. More the merrier. So today, all our meetings we have for like areas that we talk about. We talk about the googly treats, what's working, top tip and trick, and which is Stephanie today, which I'm excited to hear about. And then next steps, anything that we can do to support you, celebrate you, and we just to keep us going each month. So some googly treats. Oh, there's a typo. Fantastic. Is the Anywhere School updates. Google just had their update. I think, was it last week? Was it? It seems so.
It was. I should know the date. I really should know the date. It was probably a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome from all around the globe. Google updated 50 different updates, so it's linked there for you. I'm just scrolling that. A couple of the Google Meet updates started rolling out today. So the mute all and the get rid of kids all started coming out. So start looking for those. It's pretty exciting. So the resources there, but the Google Meets is huge for them. They're updating that, classroom updates, but then some other updates are coming too. Some are enterprise, so the paid version. Some are free. So yeah, it's super, super exciting right now for Google. So that was huge. So do take that link and take a look at it. We don't want to go through all 50 because that would be wild. But I think we have ours on YouTube. Is our party on YouTube?
Where's the link?
Oh, click the picture.
Oh, just click the picture?
Yeah. I can put it here. I'll put it in the
I was going to just put it down, just make sure I had it down.
Craig, you are on it with your job. I love it, Craig.
You're hired. Hi, Candace. Welcome. Yeah, you were on it, Craig. Thank you.
Wow. He rocks. Yeah, I like it. That makes me so happy.
Sticker.
I know. Well, we do still have some prizes, Danessa.
I know. I was just going to say
that at the end. We can
Jeff is on it too. Woo-woo!
Yes. All right.
I love it. So, yeah. So here's the details. Oh, I did a specific one for Classroom and Meet because I think with everyone, most of us, I would say, is distance learning. Those were the big ones to come through. I'll put that in there too. But I know the muting all has been huge, is going to be huge. The kicking everyone out is going to be super huge. Did my thing stop scrolling? I don't even know. My mouse is not working for whatever reason. I apologize. So I'm going to switch back. So the specifics on Meet in Classroom are on that link that's in the chat. Welcome, Denise.
Yay. I think and Candace came in. I think both of them. Yeah.
Oh, Ray, it's at the I think the link to where we send it is at the end. If I recall. Stephanie can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you are correct. So and before, do you want to go back one slide? I was going to I'll pop one link here in the chat for everybody. There is a useful doc, and then maybe if you want to pull it up, if we go to globals, I only know it off of there, globalgeg.com or globalgeg.org, sorry, .org.
Okay.
Paste it where it actually gives you I forget the beginning.
I do that all the time with my
students. Go there and click on the junior training series in the middle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
I should add that.
Yeah, this series and this page, I would say, is super helpful for families. So I'm one of the founders of Global GEG, and we partnered. Google had us do a series on their behalf. So the intro videos at the top are an introduction to what the whole family toolkit is all about. The middle section is the YouTube playlist, so it just goes there. But the bottom is actually my favorite. It is a document, and you can expand it and push it out. But if you go to the very top, Danessa, of the doc, that first page, it's a table of contents by Google, by each of the areas within the Google suite. And each of the videos that are in there are only 90 seconds long, and they're geared at students and families. And the idea is that it would help support anybody who doesn't have somebody in their school, or maybe the teacher doesn't have time to take them through it. So if you're asking students to do something in sites or in docs or in forms, and you don't have time to be taking them through it, in the actual assignment itself, you could put a link to a specific, if you click on maybe, go ahead and click on Gmail. Because that one I found, even for my own kids, was a big one. So the Gmail one, there are 5 videos in that particular series. And if there's a specific one, like I did the writing an email one, which is why I know about that section. But my own 5th grade daughter came to me and said, my 5th grade teacher just asked that my homework tonight is to write an email, and I don't know how to do it. Like, how do I actually go into Gmail and open it and write an email? And I laughed and said, do you want to watch mommy's video on this topic? And then I realized that maybe some other teachers might want to have those to easily send out. So if that helps any of the families at your school, you can open this doc, and you are more than welcome to download it and alter it. I would just ask that you leave global on there, since we are the ones that made it. But if you need to alter, I know I work at a school that doesn't use Classroom. We have Canvas at my school. So when my school shared it out, they took that section out of this document. There is nothing wrong with doing that. It's whatever would be most useful to you. But each of those have a 90-second, no more than, I think there might be a couple that are 2 minutes if it's a little longer, but it's got 4 steps at the most for each one that guides a student and or parent through how to do that particular thing.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
And what's that website again?
So if you go to globalgeg.org, it's right in the middle of the
it's right here again. It's in the chat.
The junior training series. Yeah.
I just shared it with my staff.
Okay.
Because I forgot to last week.
Yeah. So for sure. And I know even I'm high school level, but there have been a few things that I've shared out, or, particular things, sharing settings, all different things. And I would say it's walked through in a very bite-sized manner that doesn't feel overwhelming. And I have some staff at our school that are wonderful, but they need a little bit of a slower rollout for how to do it. And some of the pieces in that series have been really helpful to make it not feel intimidating for them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we're such a small group. If you want to share out or put it in there in the chat, that's fine. So now that we've started distance learning, might feel global. How are we still taking care of you? Because I know, especially for me, it's been quite the roller coaster. I feel like I was just talking to a colleague, and just when things are added on top, I just feel like I'm drowning a little bit.
Mhm.
So when I leave this space, what are you doing to take care of yourself so you can decompress and feel normal? So if you want to share, please unmute yourself and go for it.
Oh, I love that question.
Oh, do you have
Ray.
one, Ray? Let's go for
I
it.
just got the Peloton a couple months ago, and there's a Facebook group of Peloton principals, and I
Oh,
joined that, and so I'm just trying to, keep going on the Peloton because it's a nice way to break your mind from what you've been doing.
I
so
believe it. Oh, man.
administrators that are all doing the Peloton biking thing in a Facebook group. I'm liking this. Okay, like a niche group. I like it. Oh, Jeff. Running and walking.
Running and walking. Yep.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Or Jeff, if you want to tell us, like, where do you go for your runs? Do you have a certain route that you like?
I do. Cause I live pretty close to part of the Bay Trail.
Oh.
And so I just go around the block, and down there's a small beach where I live, and I can get onto that, and that can take me down to the Bay Trail.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good to be on the water.
Oh, I bet it's so
love that.
nice too. Not as hot as it is where we are.
Yeah.
Denise said spending time with horses and with her horses and dogs. Oh, that sounds heavenly.
Yeah, I have 4 horses and 2 dogs, so
Wow.
And property, I assume.
yeah, a little bit.
Good for you.
Not a whole lot in the Bay Area because it's too expensive, but yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So I didn't really introduce myself because I was with,
please do.
I teach independent study, so I'm with students for a certain number of hours each day. But so I am in Livermore, California, but I live in Knightson, which is about 27 miles north and just barely east of Livermore, California.
Mhm.
And I teach independent studies 6th through 8th grade, and then I also teach the high school work experience program. So,
that's
wow.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Denise.
sure.
Any others? I've been reading a lot more. It calms my brain. Think about something else.
I take my golden retrievers up to Dry Creek every day for 40 minutes.
Yes.
The thing is, it's about 5 minutes, 5-10 minute walk from the house. And you go and just take a little bit in, and you wouldn't believe you're in the Bay Area. It's so quiet, so peaceful.
That's awesome. I'm glad
And
y'all have a way
And I have
out.
Goldens too, so I get it.
Yeah, aren't they the best? They're just great walkers.
Yeah, they are. And ball chasers.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love that people are like figuring out what you actually need, and I have yet to figure out the right way. Like for me, I don't know if I said it to you, Danessa, but I was just happy like I got a shower in this morning and I didn't get interrupted.
Yeah,
That
you
was
did.
my time, with my 3 kids that are like every second there's something. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I find myself, I was always an early morning person, but I'm waking up even earlier so that I actually do take a little bit of time that is mine before other people start to wake up. It's my best thinking time. So I just, the shower is gonna be my new favorite. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to go outside or to put on to get out of pajamas. So
Yeah.
shower works.
It takes some effort for sure. That's why I purposely said I would work from school. So it made me get up and feel like an adult, I guess, a normal adult.
Well, and I do the same thing. And before I leave school in the morning, there's chores to do for the horses and the dogs. But coming to school really keeps that that schedule for me. And working at home, I find if I try to do my teaching from home, I find that I don't have the right book when I need it, or I'm a little more scattered, I guess.
Yeah. I'll find out in a couple days.
It's a change in routine for sure. Yeah. So figure out your location. I hadn't thought about it like that, but yeah, for sure it is.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. So now it's Stephanie.
Okay, and I told Danessa, like, I've been doing some of these presentations, like I'm sure some of you, some others of you who are tech coaches or just helpful teachers at your sites, and I don't mean just, but I mean in addition, helpful teachers at your sites have been sharing things out. So I volunteered knowing that this was a stressful month and it's hard to ask people to then come in here and share out. And I thought, I've already done this. I haven't done any sharing, even though I'm one of the leaders here, or sharing here, I should say. So I figured now's the time. That way it won't add a burden to other people. And I'll give you some of the things that have been working well for me and for people on my site and beyond. I shared it beyond my site and guide you through it. And then one particular joy passion project that helps with building connection. So my focus for this year and the focus that I gave at our school for like before the school year started was on building connection. I'm about to have an interruption once again. Yes, mommy's in a meeting. Yellow. Sorry.
That game is so clean.
I know, I cleaned it up. If you want to take it, you can set it up in the other room. Sorry. Welcome. This is Eliza. This is my youngest. Yes.
Mommy, is the sun going down?
Not yet, but soon, in a couple hours.
What is that? Coming home?
He will come around. Sorry, just a moment. He will. You can go call him. Go call him. Okay, don't go there. All right. I think I'm good. Close the door on your way out, okay, love? Love you. Okay. Okay. That's you are super typing. I appreciate your notes. No problem, right? Thank you for on mute. Or if you're outside. Can I do that? There we go. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and present my screen. Sorry for my Eliza interruption. Luckily, she's cute, so hopefully it makes up for you. Okay, and then, so I'm going to take over the screen if that's okay, Danessa. Here now. And I'm going to share this one. Okay. So this is the presentation. And this links actually to another presentation as well. If you didn't know, this is one of the things that we always do is if you're my whole screen, which you are, changing that and present so then it doesn't overtake your whole computer screen. Okay, so this piece here, I began the school year sharing this with the staff, and this has links embedded in it. So this has, if you're looking for those kinds of activities, those SEL, those connection pieces that you can use, that you can continue to do, not just at the start of the year, but throughout, this contains a variety of them. So the first is this Stoke deck. I went to Stanford's D School for the pathway that I chair is a design-based thinking pathway, and we went to their design thinking conference, and they shared out a Stoke deck, and now it's been turned into a virtual Stoke deck. And so they have things on being remote partners. You can choose particular kind of icebreakers that would work for remote partners, remote large group, and then these ones are face-to-face. And when you click on them, it asks how many people are you working with? I think that might be Ellen. I think I'm going to help mute you if that's okay. You're all good. I got you. And then there we go, I think. Okay, and so then when we're here in the Stoke deck, you can click on whichever is the most useful for you, and those links will take you to how to actually do those activities, and it'll organize by type of activity, what is the intention of the activity, and the number of people that it would apply to. The next one is, if you haven't already been using these, they're so much fun, and I actually have my students make them too. So you can find lots of them, but if you're trying to have your students learn how to do things in Google Slides, it's a fun way to get a variety of these. So I asked students to make an on a scale. And so this is one that was already published on the internet, right? Like, where are you on a scale, a rubber ducky scale? I've seen on a cat scale, on a scale of, you can name anybody, right? On a Justin Bieber scale. And you find faces in all different ways. And then on a cat scale, a dog scale, I've seen them all. And then people can put in the chat or you might have them do it in another way, but people can put in the chat and say where they feel like they are. And some of the, there are many programs that start to have you do that, like gauge where you are, but this is a nice simple one if maybe you're not using a lot of the other like tech programs or things that overlay on particular slides like Pear Deck or Nearpod. This is a nice way that you can do it embedded within your own presentation. Another one that my student teacher, my teacher candidate, was doing in her program and has worked really well was doing a respond to statements. So like, yes, if you totally agree, you're all in, you can just put 2 hands up. You might be kind of 1 hand up and putting both hands down, or fists, right, would mean that it doesn't apply to you at all. And coming up with statements, they might be about the school, they might be about your class, or they might just be about general things, social things. And then this one, Lauren Hale, she is amazing, and her stuff is beautiful because she is both a teacher, and prior to being a teacher, she was a designer. So her slides activity templates are wonderful. And if you go onto this link, it'll take you to her whole site. You'll want to scroll down and you'll get to these ones that are kind of connection activities, and you can download. These are free templates that you can download, and they'll ask you to do things like this or that activities, and you could build it in and you could replace what it says, but the students then move their circles over. You could do this week's top 3. This one is filling your luggage with something, my week in a GIF, emoji moods, and then I Spy. And they're wonderful, and she continues to add there, but those were the main ones that I felt like would be quite useful for connection pieces, at least. This was put out by Edu Protocols with John Carippo, and he pushed out along with, oh, is it Mary Hebron? I forget what the M is, and I feel really bad. And Kim Vogue, but they pushed out this, the Edu Protocols. If you're not familiar, it's kind of a template that could be applied to any subject, any grade. And the idea is that it puts the students at the center of what is being done. And so all these things that are around that are here in the yellow part would be the directions of how to apply that Edu protocol. And then this gives suggestions as you're moving in for days of the week. This was a suggestion for the beginning of the school year, but it certainly could be used anywhere. We had Lisa here who talked about math reps, so that one is loaded in here. We've talked about thin slides, but these are all really wonderful and apply no matter the subject. It really is just a way of introducing in a simple way some aspect of technology that then could be applied to your lesson. And it's not that the tech is in any way at the center, but it uses technology in some way. So it might use slides. Many of them do use slides, but some use other pieces within G Suite or other free tools. And then the next one is the one that I was going to take you through maybe for about 5 or 10 minutes. And it is linked off of this link down here at the bottom. Craig, sorry, I just blocked it for you. So give me 1 second. But it's GEG, it's bit.ly, GEG Nor Cal CWT for Can We Talk? And I will take you to that slide in a second. It actually has that on it. So let me just share this tab instead. So this is a pet project of mine, and it has a whole website associated with it called canwetalkedu.com. And Can We Talk EDU, the idea of it is if any of you have ever done, oh, and I'll put it in present mode, but if any of you have ever done personality assessments, it uses the True Colors, the Ketterman survey for personality assessments. And what I have done is I have created slide decks that are there to help guide your students through it. I've created a digitized way to take the survey that spits out to the student a kind of certificate that explains to them what their color, their personality color is. And then there's guided pieces with, I have both Pear Deck, Nearpod, and Google Slides presentations that could be used that have my voice on them. That could be self-paced presentations that would explain what they are and how it applies to a classroom and the way to think about it for the year. So the presentations then, that takes you to the survey. This gives a little bit of background on my Google site itself. It takes you through a little bit about my background and my joy with this, because I've been using it for over 20 years. And I've tested, if there's a personality piece out there, I've tested it. And I found that this is kind of the simplest one that has really worked well for students and for staff. I've used it everywhere. And I review these norms both with everyone, that we need kind of all the kind of learning styles and personality traits that are out there. And some, if you start to research, when you look at it, there's always what are the negative associations or the way that you're viewed by other people. I find that often is really off-putting. So when you're introducing things for students, it's about focusing on the good and how do we build up the strengths and how do we learn to grow in areas of maybe gap or areas where we can learn from other people. So as opposed to calling them like negative traits, I don't think that that really helps anyone as we move forward. I talk about the uses in both with our class, staff, parents, teams, personal. I use it for making groups. I use it in my staff for making teams as well. And so this takes you through what each of the colors are about, but I'm gonna move more to the application piece. But in a very quick nutshell, blue, when you do this, blue are people that think with their heart, that begin with the heart. And then we talk about how to give feedback to people that are blue. Oranges tend to be people that are like more ruled or guided by competition or movement. And that's where they go typically in the way that they want to learn, like wanting something hands-on, wanting it to be that it applies to them. So a blue might reach out to you and an orange is wondering how it's applicable to them. And then a green is going to be asking lots of questions, lots of why, really wanting to know and analyze, and then come up with a systematic approach to their response. And our golds tend to be people that are calmed and guided by order and by rules, and knowing what the rules are and knowing that they're following in the lines. That was a super brief summary. There's a lot more on there and a lot more nuances to each of them. But I typically talk to my students in my classes about how, depending on your color, right, that I have in the past when I've had my students go into color groupings, true color groupings, that my blues would come in and they would be like singing and having matching socks together because it's all like kumbaya and everybody's happy. And then my oranges are typically that group that I have in the hallway outside, and then they wait until it's like 2 minutes before and say, we got to get it together, but they've done something super fun as a team. And then somebody else comes in and gives a brilliant presentation because they can just quote wing it. And our oranges tend to be people that are really good at that and tend to be quite charming. And our greens usually come in with a blank poster board because they've argued about the best way to give a presentation and don't actually give a presentation. And our golds have it all done usually, and then come to the teacher and ask if it's right, even if there isn't a right answer necessarily. Again, very brief, but and again, these are summaries. These I would say they're not all of the qualifiers of a person. I always give that caveat. So the way that it applies, this was somebody who did an awesome kind of sketch note of the session that I had given before. But the way that it applies is I actually used this when we were in person together. I would use this to make my teams, my student groups, and I'm working on doing that in a better way virtually. But I would have students write their name, like super simple, write their name on a piece of colored paper or cardstock that matched the color, and they might appear half-half, so then they'd physically cut the paper. I'd take a picture of it, laminate it, and I'd move it around in this board that is usually used for a calendar for elementary school. And I'd write a little number on it, like this team was number 1 and they were sitting at table 1. And then for the next group, because my whole pathway is group projects and teams, then I would switch it around. And I usually begin every team thinking about, okay, who are my golds? Usually in the 9th grade, I have fewer golds, even though the percentages that I'll show you later usually show that it's a balanced group. I find in my 9th grade classes, maybe it's just my pathway, that I don't have as many of those. So I usually start with golds to try to spread them out. And then I move to blue to make sure that we have people that are like providing some feeling. They tend to be the glue of a group. Then I move to green, because the green, if we can spread them out, we'll have some big ideas. And then I move to oranges, because usually oranges, it's almost like, what are the best people to work together? Sometimes because they tend to have a lot of personality, we want to think about the best way that the oranges can contribute to that team and really shine. And sometimes having two or three, and you know those students, right? It can be combustible depending on who you put together. So I've made certain things that are on the website that are free for everybody. Like the whole thing is free. It's one of my innovator projects. And so the first is actually being able to do this survey, download it, and use Autocrat so that you can see the statistical information of your students. You don't have to. You can have them take it directly on the site, but if you want the statistics, you can do that. And then there are downloadable templates for you. So you can download this that students can make. You could download a group template where they put their picture on it if you want to do that for a day. In my class, we did these where students made a slide and the choice was, we had this already there and it's there for you. A phone case that was the color, a hydro flask, or a notebook. And then they would put stickers on it that represented them and their passions. And then they did a flip grid where they shared out about how their color, their learning style, like impacts some of the choices that they've made or the way that they learn best in a classroom. And then these are just some overall statistics related to it that are like overall general, right? But usually your golds and oranges balance out. Sorry, let me just go let this person in 1 second. And then the next is usually the blues and greens balance out. Now, again, depending on what grade level you teach, some of those things are different. I even have on the website a version that is for, I would say, middle school and up, and an elementary school version that's, instead of being 40 questions, is 11. And then this is the typical breakdown of teachers, and it's always really interesting. I usually don't tell my students what I am until after we're done with the presentation, and then I say they can try to guess. And just FYI, I'm a green, just FYI, so I'm pretty strategic about how I do things, and I usually wait to see if it's the right way to move forward, and I've probably tested like 12 different ways before I do it. This is the website. This is the website, and I think I may have, after making this, there might be one more update that's on there, but there are resources both in English and Spanish. Italian is almost done. I have people that have been kind enough to make it, but this presentation that I've given you, this very shortened version, there's a student version of it that guides them through it, both in, as I mentioned, Pear Deck, Nearpod, and Google Slides. And those are being recorded right now in other languages. So the recording right now is in English, but I do have some of the content in Spanish at the moment. So that's coming. And then let me see if it takes me to the next slide. There we go. Oh, I've been doing, here we go, monthly challenges. So this is, I don't know about you, but it's hard to gauge growth for students, especially in a virtual setting. So one of the categories in our pathway that I teach in the design thinking pathway is called agency. For some of you, that might be like participation, or that might be growth mindset, but it encompasses a wide variety. And so what I've started to do is put out a monthly challenge that asks, depending on your color, where you gravitate, for you to try to do this over the next month. And then I provide them with either some reflection opportunities during the course of that month, or I ask them to be talking about it in a discussion. But those are other things I'm going to be adding to the website, or ideas on how to do the reflections. And then these are the student guided presentations. Those are there. And then the other piece is I utilize it actually in all different subjects. So as I had mentioned, I'm both in the classroom, but I'm also an ed tech coach at the school. So a lot of the teachers at our school will utilize it in a variety of ways. So once students have applied it to themselves, let's say you're doing a reading, they might ask, what personality or learning style do you think this author was? Because maybe it impacted the kind of quotations that they would use, or the writing style. They might ask about a character's personality color. And it just helps give a way to frame what people are thinking. For history, thinking about people in history, and like, were they guided by rules? Did they throw those out? Like, what color would that mean if they did? Our chemistry teacher asked, what color do you think this element was? Is it combustible? Is it something that is that doesn't really pay attention to rules or authority? If it mixes with another, is there like some catastrophic event that happens, or do they play nicely together, right? Are they the glue of a situation? And how would you categorize that? So just a wide variety of ways to personify things that might not always be done in that way. And it helps students to relate in different ways. I found it really useful and simple enough that people of any age can start to make their way in. And then if you want more information, this is to this presentation that has links embedded. And then this is the website where everything is on. It is kind of my pet Google Innovator project for the year. The first one was launching global GEG. And then this was my second year project that I've been working on. And it really came out of me, I'll stop sharing my screen, but it came out of me giving this presentation to a group, and then the group saying, well, how could we do this at our site? And then I realized, like, oh, people are wanting to do this, so let me make something that will help people do that. And that's how this website came about. Yeah.
Can I get the link that you had on the corner? I think it's like, I got the can we talk to you, canwetalkedu.com, but did a bit.ly.
Yeah, / and I'll grab it right now. It's
the slide presentation is this one, the last one.
Thanks, Danessa.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I'm happy to. I've given longer versions, and the recording of all of those are on the website. You can use whatever you need to. Some people like to, if they're using it in their own classroom, to understand it. There are documents to help you to do that and to walk through and almost like say what I've said in the presentation yourself, or you can use my voice and use it. But it's there to help support. And my goal always is about helping students feel like we are better at having conversations with each other. So the way that I actually use it in my room, the way that I use it in my classroom, is I ask students before I give feedback, written feedback or verbal feedback, and before they talk as a team, to get to know people and what their learning style and their color is, and to think about how to approach people based on that. So if somebody's a blue and they think with their heart, the first thing that they'll hear if you provide any kind of feedback, anything at all, is this person hates me. Like, that is what a blue will think from a teacher. If you write anything, you might be writing like, great job, and then you put one piece of critical feedback and they're like, oh, she hates me forever. That's the first thought of a blue. It's the natural first thought. So what I try to do is coach them through that and say, no, I'm your teacher. I'm here to support you. I want to see you grow. Yeah. So and then same for the other questions. So in the bigger presentation, I have like ways to give feedback depending on the color and how to guide students through how to give that. And then Jeff, I would say, depending on, I personally think the 6th graders could take the 40 question quiz and be fine. I have a 5th grader myself. I really think like 4th grade and up. I wrote elementary, but I think 4th grade and up could likely take the 40 question one. And it might just be that maybe instead of having them do it on their own, the teacher is reading the question aloud while they all are clicking it in the Google form. And then in that way, you know that it isn't being misread. And if a student has a question on what it means, you could answer it. But I specifically made that 11 question one more for students. I was getting asked, like people that were teaching kindergarten, 1st grade, even 2nd grade or 3rd, where they're not, where maybe the reading level isn't quite at reading for a 40 question piece. And some of the word choices that are used in there. That 11 question one, I should say, I didn't write that. I didn't write either of these, but the 11 question one, I'm working to edit it. It was like a patch one that is put in there that was done by a different school, and we've digitized it. But some of the wording isn't my favorite, but it works for right now, and it gets to the heart of it. So I'm working on revamping that because I don't want any of the negative associations in there. But it was more like they needed it today, so we got that in there for them today. Yeah. But I hope, and basically what's happening, and then we'll move to the next more exciting celebration stuff. But people all over the world are using this year, and my goal is that I'm gathering each month. I'm gathering feedback. In a Twitter chat, I also have a form if maybe your staff or your students don't feel comfortable posting in a Twitter chat, and people can put in their own reflections there. So about how you've learned and how you've grown. And then my goal is to compile that, and right now it's going to go as features on the website, featured schools, featured classrooms, featured teachers, and eventually maybe become a book that's compiled with some research pieces within there and connections. So that's all my stuff, and you can use it all. I put everything on that website, and if there's something that you don't understand or you want me to walk through, I've done presentations for people at their school sites. If you just ask me, I can try to do it on days when I'm not teaching, if you need help with anything.
So important right now too with distance learning. So thank you. Any questions for Stephanie? It's awesome. I'm excited. I already was stealing stuff and I'm sorry, borrowing, right? Right.
Well, it's also, I mean, if there's ways, like some of the things in terms of application have come out of people saying like, oh, here's how I did it, or here's the presentation that my students made with it. And then I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Can I take that, remake it, you know? So that like shared slide, that came out of Stephanie Howell in Ohio, who was doing it with her staff. And she's like, I need a visual way to see where everybody is. And if you copy when you copy the sheet to do your own through AutoCrat, it auto makes the form. It also auto gives you the statistical information on the group that you push it out to. So it will give you some Google charts, but if you want a more friendly visual, like I didn't see my students yet. I didn't have their picture, so I wanted them to put not just their name, but like a picture of themselves on the color. So it just helped me when I was going into groupings. Yeah, for sure.
Love it. Love it.
Yay. All right. Hope that helps people. Okay.
So we always do some celebrations because we feel that we want to celebrate y'all. And so we send out a survey every month and just let us know what's going on. We had 2 wait, did I just skip it? Did I get like excited? Oh, it must be after. But first, so there's the inspiration. We are here to help you with your level 1s and level 2s. There's information there. You can click on the link there. The trainer, same thing. The trainer test is you can take it whenever. They do the approvals about once every month, I think now. And we can help you with that. I know I'm a trainer, Stephanie's trainer. If anyone else is a trainer, we can help you. We can all, I'm sure we're all willing to help. Innovators, they are currently doing the online one, the VIA, so that's pretty exciting. It's truly innovative. I can say that. I think Stephanie can say that. But now the new one is the coach one. There's new certifications. They just started certifying. There's been a few coming out, and so it's been super cool to see. I'm still working on mine. I'm
gonna take my time on that one tonight.
Yeah, like, I'm not super worried about it.
But it's really, there's a book that goes with it that I have here. You have the Courageous Adventures.
I don't. No, mine's at home.
I have it here. I can actually.
Courageous Edgy Ventures, I think, is what it is.
Here it is. This is the book that goes with it. And then, oh, yay, Candace! That's awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Woo! Good job.
Yeah. And then, so this book, if any of you are coaches, this goes with it. It's a wonderful book.
Yeah, you get it.
But if you're planning to be doing it, there's also a series that Global is doing to help support that. So it's like a check-in. They'll have, a similar chat to this, but it's all people going for that certification and supporting people in doing so and in talking through it. So you're I didn't know if that was linked there. Didn't I?
It's no, I should link that, but I'll add that. But the coaching information is linked on how to start that and get started. So but I should add that for sure. But
I'll go grab the link while you're talking on the next ones, and I'll put it.
Our celebrations, woo woo! Adam Juarez and Catherine Goyette. I don't want to say her name wrong, but their book is coming out. It is like they're so excited. They told us again.
Cool.
Coming out this fall. I think they said October. Dave Burgess is publishing it. So it's super exciting because that's our region. That's our region coming out with the book, Leading with Learning Organic Ed Tech. So organic ed tech with, I think I'm excited to see that. And then Amy Edwards, whoop, she's learning and sharing tabs with everybody, which she loves. So we're super proud of her because it's hard. If you haven't done this, it's, you know, we got to celebrate all the milestones, all of them.
Yeah.
If you have something to share, there it's linked here. Please do. We want to celebrate you. Now that we've shared this on our meeting, it'll go out on our Twitter and.
Well, we can give a giant shout out to Candace, right? Because
yes, we'll do one for Candace. Woo! Passing 1 and 2. We love it. Bye, Denise. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Thank you. We know meetings all day, right? I totally get it. Meetings and this and that. For more information, Ellen, we will help you. I got you. Please connect with us if you'd like to be more involved with our GEG Nor Cal. You can connect right here. It'll give us the link. If you want to present, if you have something like Stephanie, to some ideas, even if it's small, even if it only takes 5-10 minutes, we would love to have you. If you have ideas for our next meeting, we would love to do that too, because we just toss ideas. Sometimes what's talked about in the chat, if we need to talk about the exam, we could absolutely help you all out. And we just want to keep growing and keep supporting you guys, because you guys are we are it. Like, this is how we support each other. If you would like to be a leader and be more involved, there's the link right here. What you see, we have different not levels is the wrong term, areas that you can help us grow, and click that there. And that's our August meeting, y'all. Here's the link there if you want to add to your banner. Someone was asking that earlier. I can't remember who. I'm so sorry. But it's right here, so you can click it and add your Bitmoji there. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. She linked the coach series in the chat. So if you have anything for us, we're here and we appreciate all of you. Oh yeah, Ellen, for sure. I bet that's tough. We get kids knocked out knocked out, but kicked out of meets, and they come back. I teach junior high. It's all day, poor kids. It's so tough right now. I feel that. I wish I had an answer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, special ed, trying to get kids Chromebooks. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much right now. So much.
It's so much. Have you, Ellen, you guys have started, I assume? Yeah. I know it's hard because you can't show them like the how-tos without getting them on that Chromebook first.
Oh, tomorrow morning we're going to invite kids to our Google Classroom, but school doesn't officially start till next week. But they want to get everybody a taste of it. So
gotcha. Oh, that's
yeah, I spent from July 1st until just last Friday. I was practicing and training hours and hours every day on that training, and it did not.
Oh, you're muted.
Ellen, you're still muted. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good, Jeff. Yeah, it's tough. We did not.
Yeah, just all the hours of training did not help me pass, and I did try some of the boot camp. None of it made sense. It was like way above my head when I tried to join it.
So I would say any of us that are here are more than happy to help and support you in that. Some of the pieces that I would recommend might be taking it. Okay, I'll help you in a second, Eliza. Taking it step by step. Yeah, Danielle wanted to add something there. Go right ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, I passed it back in July, but I just wanted to say that I went through all 13 modules offered by the Google Teacher Center.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay. I was extremely thorough, and it took me a long, long time. Like it always said how long it was going to take. And if you actually practice any of it and try to click on the links, it took longer than it said it was going to, but I did pass the first time. I had like 3 minutes to spare, but I passed. So it was 13 modules. It took a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I went back and went through it again, but it didn't.
The boot camp, I also layered that on top after I finished the 13 modules, but boot camp is a much faster pace, and it's with people who are like, even for me, it was like, whoa. Sometimes it was way more tech savvy than I was ready to be. So the 13 module thing that I did with Google, it's just, you do it on your own. It's not, nobody else is in there with you. And it just takes you through every single piece of what you need for the test. So Good luck.
The boot camp is, if we're referring to the one from Global GEG, it's linked off of Global's website. So you, if you go back to here, I'll put the link in right now. There's a sub page off of Global GEG under events, but here's it, and it has both the 1 and 2. It has all the recordings. It has the slide decks that are in there. And the different challenges that were done that might be able to help you if you're looking for that. But for sure, I would say, right, it's done in a, a 3 session for level 1 and a 2 session for level 2. So it's for sure jammed into a much shorter amount of time than spreading out, 13 modules at your own pace. So a lot of times what was being said there is, this is a good overview. You'll end up needing to go practice. And we hope that this helps you. You can always watch it again or slow the video down. But yeah, it was kind of a mixture of what would help you for the test, along with the ways that it could apply even within your classroom.
Now, thank you. I've gone through most of the modules. It's just a matter of reviewing it and actually taking the test. You put a lot of energy in and you get through about 10 and you got 3 more to do. And just I want a quick review before I take the test and get the certification. But thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. And then, and if anybody has questions, there's different.
Give me a plate.
In a second, sure. Sorry, but if anybody has questions, right, there's still there's the 2 options for logging in, like which testing platform are you there's a little bit of, we've got this kind of year of limbo around that. So, and I have used both, but if that gets in anyone's way, you're more than welcome to message, or I think, Danielle, if you had anything you wanted to share about that, you're more than welcome to.
About the testing platform?
Yeah, well, you said you have one more. You were saying you have one more thing. Oh no, Danessa says she has one more thing, but she's looking to find it.
Well,
Sorry.
my experience, that's okay. My experience with the testing platform was interesting. I had tried to prepare. I watched I don't remember what his name is, but I watched all his videos on how to be prepared for the test. And I don't even know which test platform I had. It was really blank, and there was nothing to click on for any tech support at all. Mm-hmm. So my time expired while I was going back to review the few questions I marked for review. And then for over 2 hours, it just said submitting. So yeah. I was going crazy. I didn't even know if my test was submitted or not. And I tried to go outside of the testing platform finally, tried to contact every possible way I could get tech support for it. And I didn't get any response. Then that was a Friday afternoon. So I figured I had to wait till Monday. But Saturday night, I got the email saying that I passed. So
good.
Yeah, it was a really strange experience, though, as far as the testing platform.
The platform, and I actually was in a meeting today with some people at Google, giving a little bit of feedback about some of the platforms and the testing questions themselves. So if there's anything that you want me to pass on, I was meeting with the people that do that, as I just had to do my recertification, and then there were a couple things that I'm like, I have a few notes if we want to chat. So yeah, you're welcome to pass them on. But I met with the people that were doing that. Oh yeah. Hi Jeff. We're ending right now as well. But some of the pieces.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
One quick question before we go, and it's to Danielle. Given all the stuff we're going through these days, would you recommend I kind of wait a month or 2 before trying to do the test? It sounds like the platform would be kind of stressful. Would it be best just to kind of probably wait till October to try?
I don't know if it would make any. I mean, for you, like personally, trying to go back and review and get ready for it.
Not necessarily that, but just with all that's going on right now, it's just would you want to go into should I go into a stressful situation with the platform issues?
I'd say go for it. I
Okay.
mean, I did it. It was like the end of July, it was the middle of July, and
it's no longer 2 hours on the wait. It was more like 8, maybe 5 to 8 minutes for me on that. Like maybe it was 5 on that, like waiting, but it felt like longer. But I looked at the clock, and then I kept wondering, is it taking mine? Is it taking it? Is it taking it? But it is. it's doable. I think what you want to know is, do you have like 3 solid hours where, for me, it's hard to not be interrupted. So like, where can you find those? What day is going to be best for you? Do you feel like calm? Do you feel like you know how to navigate? The questions do, at least for the application ones, they guide you through what are each of the steps to do. So if you feel comfortable, if you were told, you know, you're going to build this slide, you're going to go into Drive, you're going to do this thing, and then you're going to click this button, like if you're comfortable following those steps and answering questions about it, you might be ready, you know, but you might just want to review a little bit before. But I would say the level 1 at least is really a true assessment of like, are you able to navigate all of these platforms?
I understand.
Yeah, and I think if you feel confident or comfortable in that, then I think you'll be just fine.
Well, thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, go as fast as you can through the multiple choice. You need time for the scenarios. There are multiple steps on every one, and I would just say
I had 11 scenarios, but each one had multiple steps. Yeah, Candace, go ahead.
So I kind of went in with the mindset of, I need to get this 3-hour test done in 2 hours so that I had plenty of time to look back over things and things like that. So when I knew that I felt comfortable enough to do it in like 2 hours, I knew I was ready to take it. And I was done both of the exams with 2 hours. And then I just looked over a couple of things, and then I was totally submitted by probably 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes in. And I felt confident. And yeah, level 1 was really good. The platform, the testing platform, was not confusing. I took it, actually, I have it written on my calendar. I took level 1 on August 6th, and I took level 2 on August 9th, right back to back.
Wow.
I did not, thank you, but I did not mean to really sign up for both. I was like, oh, I think I can do this. And then I was talking to some of my colleagues, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I just signed up for level 2 as well. They're like, hi, good luck, you know? And I was like, okay, I got to do it. I'm not going to waste $25. Like I've already,
awesome.
I was like, I've already given Teachers Pay Teachers like $250. So I need to like, that $25 is like investment. So I took it, and level 2 is definitely a step up for sure, but it's not absolutely like a barrier. It's just more steps in every scenario. And so you really got to know your platform. But if you know your platform on level 1, level 2 is a step up. So do your studying, but like, it's not going to ruin you. It's just another step up. It's just a little bit of an advancement for sure.
I thank everyone. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, maybe we'll celebrate Craig at the next meeting. He also was a linker too, but
I'll try.
Yeah, but you know, and then maybe we can we'll send out, since we didn't link it here, but maybe we'll send out something to gather if people came, or if they wanted to come, and maybe we can do like a little drawing at our next meeting for we have
oh yeah
we have some cool Google prizes that we were bestowed to give out.
Awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
I will also tell you guys too that it was some incentive. Our district actually offered for Google Cert level 1, they offered $200 stipend. And then for level 2, they offered $450.
I'm in the wrong district, apparently.
Yeah, you did.
How do you work? Are they hiring?
Awesome. Be proud of that. Woo! Now you get
money.
I know my district did that a few years ago, which is what made me go like, oh, let me do that. And I couldn't believe that more people didn't take advantage at the time when they did it. Yeah.
Ours paid for the tests at least.
Oh, that's nice.
Take it. Yeah. But they gave me my money back since I already had done it. So yeah, you know.
I want to know where Candace works.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually on the east side of the Sierra Nevada. So I'm in Bishop. So I was just
there. Sorry, I got really excited.
Yeah, so that's where we are. And we are pretty much, we don't have a lot of groups where we are. So we do connect with NorCal quite a bit. And so I guess as a crow flies, we're pretty much like Bakersfield. If you just go right across the mountains, we have to go, it's like 8 hours, but as a crow flies, it's just right over the mountain range. So San Francisco, you guys are still pretty north of us, but we do a lot of GEG stuff or a lot of NorCal things, like when we do like things like with John Carippo, we do a lot of the
Yeah.
NorCal stuff with them.
Cool.
So
That's awesome.
Oh, he'll be on tomorrow on Global. He's coming tomorrow.
He's doing Ed Protocols, isn't he?
Yeah, Edu Protocols. I'll be with him. I'll be his student with a couple other people. So
Awesome.
yeah, that'll be if you go to Global's website, where it'll be our. Can't remember if it's our third or fourth time with him, but he's coming in with some new.
That's quite a few. Yeah. Edu
So-
Protocols.
is there sign up for that?
I mean, you can. There's not really a you can sign up. It just gives us a record that you came. You can go, but if you go under the upcoming events, it's there, and then the YouTube link, it's already linked underneath it when you click on the website.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And if you sign up on their calendar, you'll get all of them, and you can just click and join and
Yeah.
review later.
If you go to the sign up, you can click all. It'll just send you reminders whenever we're going to have an event with the
Yep.
YouTube.
Okay, perfect. And that's in the link you just posted.
Yes.
If you go under
Sweet.
upcoming events, yeah, sure.
Yay!
That's tomorrow. I forgot to announce that. That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
This
Bye.
workout was rocks. It was great.
Thank
All right, I'm
you.
gonna stop.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you so much.
Okay.